Welcome to this edition of SAU Magazine, a weekly program featuring news, profiles, sports, commentary, interviews, and special events, all coming to you from the campus of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
This is a Southern Arkansas University news brief. I'm Christie Roden.
And I'm Braden Harman.
Bryce Harman, a sophomore graphic design major, had his design for the Arkansas State Quarter selected for the top 100 designs in the state. Harman's design was selected out of more than 9,000 entries for the contest. Harman initially designed the quarter as a project for a graphic design class taught by Doug Waterfield, assistant professor of art. Harman's design was the only one chosen from SAU, and only one of two designs chosen from Magnolia.
The Department of Graduate Studies will offer a new counseling class during the first summer term of this year entitled Counselor as Mediator. The class will be taught by Jimmy Wooding, who will serve as director of Magnolia's new mediation center scheduled to open soon. The center, which will be the only one in Arkansas, was made possible through 3 grants which Wooding wrote and received. Students taking the Counselor as Mediator class will receive 3 hours of graduate level credit.
April Mooney won't be far removed from her teenage years when she achieves her dream of becoming a doctor. Mooney, a junior biology major at SAU, is only 20 years old, but she plans to be a doctor in the field of physical therapy by the time she's 22. She first became interested in physical therapy during a high school field trip to Shriners Hospital in Shreveport. Even while still in high school, Mooney worked towards her degree at SAU. Mooney was already a sophomore in college by the time she graduated from high school in Bradley, Arkansas.
Southern Arkansas University will offer a series of certification programs on educational technology this summer through the Learning Technologies Partnership. The LTP is a partnership of educational and private sector entities. Its purpose is to advance the use of technology in the learning environment. LTP programs to be offered this summer at SAU include collaborative video conferencing, PC Academy, and virtual instructor. The cost of the programs range from $500 to $650, and class size is limited.
Michael Juniker, Executive Director of Magnolia's Economic Development Corporation, spoke to a Southern Arkansas University Public Relations class Tuesday, April 17th. Juniker discussed Magnolia's new business park, new apartment complex around SAU, and public relations techniques used to bring in new businesses to the city of Magnolia. Juniker was hired last July as the Executive Director of the Magnolia Economic Development Corporation.
Southern Arkansas University will again field a team to represent the university at the annual Magnolia Corporate Trivia Challenge. The SAU team is comprised of Leo Carson Davis, Professor of Geology and Geography, Tim Schroeder, Director of Institutional Research, Shannon Schroeder, Assistant Professor of English, and Tim Wise, Associate Professor of Management and Marketing. The event is a fundraiser for the Arkansas Council on Economic Education. It will be held this week at the Magnolia Junior High School Auditorium. This has been a Southern Arkansas University News Brief. I'm Braden Harman.
And I'm Christie Roden.
With an SAU profile, I'm Heather Halter.
And I'm Daniel Green.
Spring Fling recently took place on the SAU campus. This year, Spring Fling actually took place in the mall area because the weather cooperated.
The usual events occurred, including Student Government Association elections, Residence Hall Association elections, and housing fair.
The Greeks also participated with Alpha Sigma Alpha's water balloon toss contest and Phi Lambda Chi's car bash.
Games included boxing, an obstacle course, and Twister.
Every college student's dream came true when they found out that free food was being handed out.
Students could get cookies, chicken fingers, cheese sticks, broccoli and cheese bites, popcorn, assorted drinks, and various desserts.
Rained out for 2 consecutive years, the 2001 Spring Fling was an enjoyable event for the SAU community.
With an SAU profile, I'm Daniel Green.
And I'm Heather Halter.
SAU Sports, I'm Nakita Martin.
And I'm Monica Rasmussen.
Head football coach Steve Quinn recently named a new offensive coordinator. Tommy Laurendine has been promoted to this position after serving as offensive line coach last season. Quinn stated, "I have been very pleased with the job Coach Laurendine has done of helping with the offensive line we are currently installing." Laurendine served as the offensive coordinator at West Alabama for 3 years prior to his arrival at SAU.
The Riderette softball team gave UA Monticello its first defeat in Gulf South Conference play in a doubleheader here last Sunday. SAU won the first game 2-1 before losing the nightcap 3-2. In the first game, pitcher Ashley Chatman allowed only 1 hit, striking out 7 and walking 5. SAU was losing to the Cotton Blossoms until the top of the 7th inning when Sasha Snyder scored on a single. Snyder was 2 for 3 with 1 run for the Riderettes. In the second game, Chatman led SAU on offense with a home run and a double, going 2 for 3, scoring once and getting an RBI.
Both of the SAU track teams took first place at Harding University's Invitational last week. For the Riderettes, Candy Hoy took first place in both the 100 and 200 meter races, and Rosalind Dennis placed first in the long jump and the high jump. For the Riders, John Fort won first place in the 100 and 200 meter races, Tyran Cager placed first in the long jump, and Kenny Petaway took first in the discus throw. The next meet will be at the University of Louisiana in Monroe on April 28th.
The Mule Rider baseball team captured its first series sweep of the season, winning at Ouachita Baptist 6-1, 5-4, and 14-1 last weekend. SAU and UA Monticello are tied for third place, while Arkansas Tech holds second in the Gulf South Conference West Division. Last Saturday, James Garvin, after undergoing back surgery, led the Riders with a home run and a single to go 2 for 5. He scored twice and had 2 RBIs. SAU improved to 28-11 overall and 10-7 in GSC play. SAU Sports, I'm Monica Rasmussen.
And I'm Nakita Martin.
With commentary, I'm Joann Lane.
And I'm Robert Chatman.
Michelle Vash, head of student activities, recently resigned from her position. Michelle has only served SAU for a couple of months following the departure of Wendy Morgan.
Wendy worked very hard to put students first and to make the organizations on campus more beneficial to the students. We are very sorry to hear her leave, but when Michelle was hired, she proved to have the same aspirations as Wendy.
With Michelle only working here for a couple of months, it was a real shocker to hear of her resignation.
Many people feel these women aren't getting a fair shot before they are run out by other Southern Arkansas University personnel.
Why fill the position if there isn't any room for them in the first place?
We feel some administrators are overstepping their boundaries and trying to be in control of everyone.
The only way to resolve this problem is to make sure that everyone is doing their job and not sticking their nose in someone else's. With commentary, I'm Joann Lane.
And I'm Robert Chatman.
With an SAU police log, I'm Marsha Walters.
And I'm Mwachiro.
On the 8th of April, Brian Fowler reported that his vehicle had been broken into and his $150 CD player was missing. The vehicle was parked in the Tally Hall parking lot, and the theft occurred between 1:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. the same day. Entry was gained by cutting the top of the convertible. The case is under investigation, and the university police are asking anyone who noticed anything suspicious on Saturday night to Sunday morning to please speak with an officer.
On April 9th, Officer Murphy arrested Jennifer Walgren for outstanding warrants from the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Walgren was booked in at the Sheriff's Office and given a court date.
On April 10th, Officer Murphy arrested Deanna Taylor for outstanding warrants from the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. Taylor was then booked in at the Sheriff's Office and given a court date.
On April 3rd, Officer Murphy arrested Keith Williams for the theft of a textbook. Williams was subsequently taken to the Magnolia Police Department, where he was given a court date. University police request that all crimes or suspicious activities be reported to the department for swift action. This is to ensure the safety of all campus residents as well as faculty and staff.
The University Police Department is the law enforcement agency on the Southern Arkansas University campus. While the City of Magnolia maintains jurisdiction on campus, the UPD conducts police operations on all property owned or controlled by the university, and any adjacent streets and property. All members of the university community are required to follow the directions of the UPD officers or other authorized university officials. All persons are expected to present an SAU ID or other identification upon request. UPD personnel cooperate with other federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities in the enforcement of all laws, as well as the detention and arrest for violation of these laws. UPD also responds to off-campus calls as requested by the Magnolia Police Department or other local agencies. With an SAU police log, I'm Marsha Walters.
And I'm Mwachiro.
I'm Tarea Haywood with job information from the SAU Employment Resource Center. Arkla Connection is accepting resumes for a graphic designer with experience in Photoshop, Illustrator, or PageMaker. Computer knowledge required. The schedule requires individuals to work 15 to 25 hours per week. Duties will involve page design, proofing, and miscellaneous tasks. Flexible schedule, Sunday and most Saturdays off. Those interested should contact Susan Hutchinson at 234-5098. The SAU Work Study Program has a position opening for football manager in fall 2001. The job consists of washing and drying laundry, preparing game equipment, field house maintenance, and heavy lifting. Hours are flexible. For an interview, contact Jason Smeltzer at extension 4108. I'm Tarea Haywood with job information from the SAU Employment Resource Center.
With this week's entertainment news, I'm Samantha Skiles. The 2001 Spring Fling at SAU couldn't have been better. The weather, events, food vendors, and activities were fun and exciting. Their turnout was large. Students and faculty attended and enjoyed this year's Spring Fling. There were various organizations sponsoring events for the students. Some of the events included blow-up activities, how to milk a cow, human twister, cartoonist, a barbecue with a live band, singing from the new SSAU, and a lot of free stuff was given away. SAU student newspaper has gotten national recognition. The Bray was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. The Bray was on the Stupid Newspaper Clipping segment. The clip that made national television was a Mule Rider quote from several weeks back. The question was, what class are you having trouble with and why? The answer was by SAU's own Juan Bedoles, Spanish, because it's a whole new language. Instructors often get the chance to see students flex their academic muscles, as writers, as collaborators, as peer evaluators, and as critical thinkers. The SAU Writing Center needs writing consultants from across the disciplines who excel in these areas. Professor Shannon Schroeder, director of the SAU Writing Center, asked for student recommendations. These students would serve as writing consultants. Some facts to remember. Every 8 seconds, a baby is born in the U.S. Every hour, 3 babies die. Black infants are more than twice as likely to die before their first birthday as white infants. Birth defects are the leading cause of infant mortality. These facts are presented by sponsors of the March of Dimes Walk America. It will take place in Magnolia on March 29th. All pledge cards can be picked up from Steve Sutton. And that's this week's entertainment news.
SAU broadcast journalism students produce informative television programs for viewers in Southwest Arkansas. The SAU Report features interviews with faculty, staff, students, and alumni. It is seen each week in Magnolia on TCA Cable Channel 13. Camden residents can see the SAU Report each morning on Cable Channel 16. Tens of thousands of cable television households in Southwest Arkansas watch the program on KTSS-TV Channel 55 in Hope. The SAU Report not only serves as a learning tool for broadcast journalism students, but serves to inform the region about institutional events and personalities. Some editions of SAU Magazine feature audio segments from these television programs. Be sure and watch the SAU Report on your local cable television service. Informative viewing, provocative subject matter. The SAU Report.
With this week's SAU calendar, I'm David Parkerson. Monday, April 23rd, the Student Nurses Association will meet and hold officer elections. The President's Ambassador interviews will begin. Tuesday, the theater production See How They Run will begin at 7:30 p.m. Chi Alpha will give a free trip to Walmart at 6 p.m. Wednesday, April 25th, the BSU will have Cross Seekers at 8 p.m. Thursday, the SAU Express to Magnolia is from 3 to 6 p.m. Chi Alpha will have Praise and Worship at 7:11 p.m. Friday, April 27th, the Agri Department hosts state dairy and equine judging events. Saturday, the ABS will have an honors banquet, the BSU will have a missions and awards banquet, and there will be a women's softball game at 2 p.m. And that's this week's SAU calendar.
SAU Magazine is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.